What's up everyone, it's Ryan here, and today we're back with another video, and this is actually a movie review for the Transformers Bumblebee movie. I saw it a few days ago, and I'm really excited to break it down scene by scene, so of course there will be spoilers for the movie, so look out for that, and there will be one more warning before the movie, but yes, spoilers, and we're going to be going scene by scene, looking at characters who have been pulled from the comics for this movie, so I actually hope you enjoy the movie, and I hope you stick around, but if you have not seen it, I would not watch it. But with all movie reviews, of course, there will be spoilers for the Bumblebee movie, so look out for those. But without all that away, let's get into the movie, guys. Now, this movie starts out on Cybertron. If you didn't know, this is actually the homeworld to both Autobots and Decepticons. It seems like it's starting to fall apart. As you can see, lots of orange, which probably means lots of destruction from the huge war that's going on between the two sides. Then we actually get to see the ground view of Cybertron with this huge battle going on between Autobots and Decepticons. And we actually get to see the Autobot side first. It does not seem like there's a lot of them. It seems like they're starting to lose due to the overall factor that they cannot fly and they have less superior weapons than Decepticons. Now it seems like the Decepticons are actually winning because once we go to their side, like their point of view, we actually get to see they have several high-ranking officers in charge, like Soundwave, who are leading multiple other soldiers right towards the Autobots. So then we actually get to see this really cool shot of the Decepticons following Soundwave because it seems like Soundwave is actually leading them. We actually get to see two guys actually pull up right next to Soundwave, which would be Shockwave and actually Starscream, who are actually leading the rest of the Seekers, who are basically Decepticons who can fly. So then we actually get to see that since there are so many Decepticons coming in on the Autobots location, Optimus Prime actually directs all of his team to like the evacuation points where they actually dispatch multiple Autobots, including Bumblebee, to these escape pods so they can actually find an Autobot base somewhere far away from Cybertron. So then we actually get to see Bumblebee's pod actually leave Cybertron, and a whole bunch of Autobot pods are actually following, but in different directions, maybe implying that there will be other Autobots actually coming to Earth, maybe in the future movies for this Transformers franchise. But we actually figure out that Optimus actually stays on Cybertron along with a whole bunch of other Autobots to actually support him in the front lines, and we actually spotted quite a few cool ones. Now, the characters we actually spotted were really cool if you're a huge Transformers fan like me. Once Optimus is actually charging towards the Decepticons, he passes two Autobots, and in the left-hand corner you can actually see a white and red one. This is Ratchet, the Autobot medic, and right under like Optimus's right arm, somewhere in that area you can actually see a black and red Transformer. This would be Ironhide. We've both seen these characters before, but they're in different colors and stuff. This is actually their classical G1 form, which was really cool to actually see. And one last Easter egg that we actually spotted, and a whole bunch of other people spotted, when Optimus Prime is finally running at the Decepticons on Cybertron, and when he jumps up into the air and actually is coming at them, that's an iconic scene from an old TV show. Now, like I said, this is actually like a scene from an old movie that is actually like about the Transformers on Earth, and it's a direct callback to how like powerful Optimus Prime is by jumping into the air and blasting to some Decepticons, and I'm glad how Travis Knight actually included it, but on Cybertron. Then Bumblebee lands on Earth, but not in a great place since he actually lands in a military like training seminar and is forced to run, being chased by multiple Jeeps. But soon, Bumblebee actually stops to try and actually talk to the military to try and explain himself that he's actually from another world. He's not trying to hurt anyone because he can still talk then until a plane starts coming in. And of course, this plane is actually not a friendly Autobot or the military. It's a Decepticon known as Blitzwing. And Blitzwing is a character from the old TV show and movie, but in that TV show, the only difference is that he was purple. Now, Blitzwing, of course, starts attacking, and Bumblebee actually holds his own against them. Bumblebee was actually a lot smaller than Blitzwing, and I like how they added that. Some Transformers are bigger than others, and Blitzwing was super huge, but Bumblebee actually got some really good shots on Blitzwing. But unfortunately, Blitzwing actually comes out on top for a moment, actually asks Bumblebee where Optimus Prime is, and when Bumblebee doesn't tell him, he actually takes out Bumblebee's voice box, which allows him to speak, but not anymore. Now, Bumblebee is severely damaged after this, but he still puts up a fight as he grabs one of Blitzwing's missiles and actually uses it against the Decepticon to blow him up. Now after this battle, Bumblebee walks away with little power left, and he actually uses this little power left to actually select a new vehicle mode so everyone doesn't capture him as his robot form. Instead, they would actually find him in his vehicle mode. But Bumblebee actually isn't out of commission for long, as Charlie Watson, the main character of this movie, actually finds him and actually finds a way to actually get him running again, at least his vehicle mode, that also sends out a signal. Now we'll get to the signal in a second, but first, on another planet, we actually get to meet the two main Decepticons of this movie, Shatter and Dropkick. Now when we meet these two, it's not under the best of circumstances, as they're currently actually interrogating one of the Autobots that actually escaped Cybertron, which is the Autobot known as Cliffjumper, and Bumblebee signals actually comes out of him, revealing it to the Decepticons. But of course, like Blitzwing, Cliffjumper is another character from the old movies and TV shows, and I actually really enjoyed him in this movie, only for a short appearance, but I loved how he didn't break when Shatter and Dropkick were putting pressure on him. He just says, "I'm Cliffjumper, Lieutenant of the Autobot cause," which was really cool. Meanwhile, Bumblebee actually is discovered by Charlie to be a Transformer, but Charlie is actually pretty cool with it and actually doesn't reveal it to anyone. But I especially like the bond between Charlie and Bumblebee, how they would go on these adventures together, and it seemed like Charlie really understood Bumblebee, how he was lost away from his planet, far from home, and people are chasing him down. It seems like she really understood him, which was really nice to add to the movie. I'm also glad that Charlie actually gave Bumblebee the name of, Bumblebee, because, it would be really hard to say, hey, there's my favorite character, B-127, which was his name on Cybertron, so it's also really nice that they added that in. Then on the less great note, Shatter and Dropkick come to Earth. Shatter is the red Transformer and Dropkick is the blue Transformer, and they actually came here due to Bumblebee's signal. So then we actually get to see what their vehicle modes are. Now if you're wondering, she has a red Plymouth satellite, an aerial jet, and finally her regular robot mode. Now if you're wondering about Dropkick, he has an AMC Blue Javelin for his vehicle mode, and he also has an attack helicopter, and finally he has a robot mode like Shatter. Now then, the two of them actually seek out the government because they want access to their satellites to help find Bumblebee, because they claim he's a fugitive and they're peacekeepers and they want to bring him back, and they are trying to convince them to actually have access to the government satellites. Then we go back to Bumblebee when Charlie actually isn't home and he's in the garage. Charlie's dog actually comes into the garage. Bumblebee gets curious and he actually knocks down through the door to the garage to her house. Then Bumblebee actually comes through the door, but once he gets in, he sort of loses interest into the dog and actually starts exploring the house, basically knocking everything over and destroying stuff. But after exploring the house, Bumblebee finally sits on the sofa when it finally breaks, though, because it cannot hold a huge Transformer like him. But unfortunately, while Bumblebee was exploring the house, he was actually leaving an energon trail into the electronics that Shatter and Dropkick and the US military could track. So with Bumblebee's location, the military and Shatter and Dropkick roll out to try and ambush them by setting up a roadblock. But of course, when Bumblebee actually comes across this roadblock with Charlie, he really does not do anything about it. He just runs away from it immediately, trying not to hurt anyone. But so far, Bumblebee was actually doing a good job actually trying to get Charlie to safety, until Shatter and Dropkick actually surprised him and started beating him up until he was knocked out. But then we actually get to see that Charlie was taken home, Bumblebee was taken back to Sector 7 to be interrogated by Shatter and Dropkick of where Optimus Prime is, but ultimately Charlie comes to rescue him and actually has to sneak onto the base. So then we actually get to see Bumblebee was being interrogated again, and he couldn't speak, but Shatter and Dropkick were still kicking on him until finally the Optimus's message from earlier replayed and said that he was coming to Earth to defend it, and Shatter and Dropkick were surprised by this, and Dropkick actually blasted Bumblebee, making everyone think that he had died. But going back to Shatter and Dropkick, they actually planned to actually use a satellite to actually transmit the signal to actually bring an army to Earth because Optimus is coming. Meanwhile, Charlie Watson actually comes onto the base and is the one who actually manages to actually save Bumblebee's life by actually using one of the Sector 7 guns, that was electric. It could actually bring him back to life, which she did. So when Bumblebee actually comes back to life thanks to Charlie, he is actually not at full capacity. He still needs to sort of adapt to his surroundings again, because he seems like he was like out just a second ago, so he sort of has to adjust for a minute, just sort of wake up again. Now at this wake point for Bumblebee, the military is able to bring him down again until Bumblebee sees that Charlie's in trouble. Then he gets up and sort of gets mad at them. He sort of gets some red eyes like the Decepticons until Charlie manages to get to him and tells him that's okay and sort of calms him down and gets him back with the blue eyes, meaning that he's an Autobot again. So then Bumblebee goes straight up to where Shatter and Dropkick are. They're about to send the signal to Cybertron until Bumblebee comes up behind them because he sort of has a surprise because they think he's dead. Now when Bee actually comes up to the Decepticons, one has to stay on the satellite, which would be Shatter. She actually sends down Dropkick to actually distract and fight Bee. But the fight we get to see between Bee and Dropkick is really cool as we get to see Charlie trying to run away. We're not sure if Bee actually saw her, but it was still cool to actually see Dropkick coming in behind Bee, but then Bee would get the upper hand, then Dropkick would get the upper hand. Then after battling for a while, Dropkick actually decides to actually turn into like one of his triple changer modes as his attack helicopter to try and gain an advantage over Bee. Then Bee has the idea of actually grabbing some chains just about as Dropkick's about to transform back into the robot mode. He actually throws it right as Dropkick's transforming, wrapping around Dropkick, and he is actually tied up then. Now Dropkick actually didn't probably understand the idea that Bee was going for, as he was about to say, "You think these chains can hold?" And before he could say it, he actually explodes because he's about to transform again, and those chains were like all tied up in him and actually made him explode. By this time, Shatter is actually attacking like Burns' helicopter because Agent Burns actually figured out about their plan and started trying to take down Shatter when she was in her vehicle mode, but did not go well and his helicopter went down, but luckily Bumblebee saved it. Then Shatter transforms back into her robot mode and starts attacking Bumblebee like crazy because Dropkick was her partner and she just witnessed him get destroyed, so yeah, I would be mad too. But eventually, like Dropkick from earlier, Shatter was eventually defeated by Bumblebee when he got behind Shatter and pinned her so she couldn't move, and he used his other hand to blast a hole in the Sector 7 base, and a whole bunch of container ships and like water flowed through, and one of these ships actually hit Shatter and she was destroyed. But yeah, after this, Bumblebee actually sank to the bottom of like all this water actually overflowing in like the harbor because he did just save like everyone by destroying Shatter and Dropkick, but still, Charlie actually was lucky enough to actually dive into the water and actually rescue Bumblebee. But in the end of the movie, we actually get to see that Charlie actually gets to reunite with her family. Everyone's happy, but until the end, it actually gets a little sadder when Bumblebee actually has to say bye to Charlie because he has to go to his family. But before you do that, we actually get a nice little Easter egg to the 2007 movie. So the thing we actually thought was cool, right before Bumblebee actually goes and joins his family, he actually scans the new vehicle mode, which would be the 1977 Camaro. We actually got to see him in like the early parts of the 2007 Transformers movie, which was really nice for Travis Knight to add. But then we actually get to see Bumblebee drive off in his new ride and actually meets up with a semi-truck on the Golden Gate Bridge, which is later revealed to be Optimus Prime. Then we actually get to see Bumblebee walking through a forest with Optimus Prime at night, sort of like talking about how like this planet would be great for like the Autobots to sort of set up like camp there and stuff, which seems like it could be interesting for the 2007 movie, as we actually saw 7 meteorites actually coming to Earth when they were talking about this. And alright guys, that's the end of the Bumblebee movie review. Sometimes I know I don't find a lot of Easter eggs, but I like going through the movie again for you guys. And it was fun to do. It's always fun to do them. But those are some of the Easter eggs I found, some of the comic book references and like characters that were pulled from the comics and how they were like different and stuff, like sort of like that Blitzwing stuff. That was sort of a good example, and I had fun making the video. And if you liked it, like please go down and like click the like button or subscribe. It means a lot to me, really. It really does. It really helps the channel. So if you like Transformers, like leave a comment on what you actually want to see next. Do you want to see me do like a rewatch of like Transformers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever ones you want to see, I can do that. I can do a movie breakdown on those or any other topics. We'll have more Transformers coming out, so don't worry. I have a lot of ideas, but I wanted to get out of the movie review out of the way first before we start on anything. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.